Well, tell me a little bit about the talk that you're going to give today, and then maybe we can talk about one of your paintings that's on display at the Lynn Museum.
Oh, sure. Well, the talk today is basically, it'll be about 45 minutes long, and it's basically broken into three parts. And the first part gives a little background on myself, how I grew up, and the main medium of my choice, which is pastel, though I work in oils and watercolor as well. The middle part will be basically kind of a show and tell, where I'll put out three prints of paintings I've done of the Battle of Gettysburg, first, second, and third day, and I'll describe exactly what went on during that battle on those 3 days. And then the last part talks about historic preservation and how I've used my artwork in times to help with historic preservation.
How did you get interested in Civil War painting?
Civil War painting or the Civil War itself?
Well, both.
Well, the Civil War, I grew up basically, with a family of historians. My uncle was a West Point grad. He was the head of the history department at Purdue University. I have a cousin who was a history teacher. But my relatives, both my father's side and my mother's side, always stressed the stories, as opposed to a lot of people say I don't like history because of the dates. Well, we always heard about the stories. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, came from Scotland, and she used to talk about, in World War I, a German Zeppelin crashing near her area in Scotland. During World War II, her family used to serve British sailors who might be in the Boston area for a Sunday dinner. On my paternal side, they talked about my Italian and Portuguese, backgrounds, how they came over, from Italy and the Azores, and their fishing experiences. My grandmother's uncle was a fisherman. Another one was actually a fisherman. There's a sculpture down in New York's Monument Park to the Merchant Marines, and the woman who did that sculpture actually took it from a photo that a German U-boat captain had done in World War II. They used to take photos of their kills, and my grandmother's brother, he was lost at sea and no one ever knew what happened to him. Well, he's in that photo, and he's one of the people that is captured forever in that sculpture. So that's kind of how I became interested in history. And the painting part was, my mother bought from me and my brothers American Heritage encyclopedias through the old A&P chain. You get a different one every week. A lot of people probably remember, grocery stores used to have different deals on different items. Could be dishes, or in this case, encyclopedias. And I used to flip through them all the time. But it was the American Civil War volume that really always attracted me. And it was because not only it was Americans, it was all Americans, but it was basically where we could go, we could walk outside our own door and see where these people came from. And that was brought home even more by people like Winslow Homer, Alfred Woad, Conrad Wise Chapman, Currier and Ives. So those paintings really attracted me to that aspect as well.
So we see what you've done. What's ahead for you? What do you have planned ahead?
There's always new challenges. I always got a lot of things going on in my head of things I'd like to do. So, basically, as they say, the world is your oyster. Well, hopefully that's where we'll be going. We'll go to all kinds of things. I paint a lot up in Lynn Woods. I've painted Lynn Woods, so maybe I'll do some more of that. There's a bunch of other things that I have really a lot of interest in. I'm always doing things, not just historical landscapes, but regular landscapes and seascapes as well. But I always try and tie it back to the people of our country, not basically people. A lot of times I don't do a lot of portraits or figure work, so it's not people in the physical sense. A lot of times it's basically people in the spiritual sense.